All right, ladies and gents, we've had a nice couple hours here Saturday morning. We had a couple nice hours Friday night. I got a couple things I just want to say to you guys, a couple little metaphors I want to make for you, a couple illustrations I want to show you. But the last little session, mini session here, I want to quick talk to you guys about is the idea of how do I know that it's real to me, right? Because the faith isn't something you can tangibly hold on to, or isn't something that you can necessarily even prove. So the question becomes, how do I know, I think that I'm a Christian, or I think that I love Jesus the way I should, or I think I know what I need to know, or I'm living the way I should live. But how do you really know is the question that I want to kind of pose to you guys right now. And just so that you guys know, I think, knowing all of you personally, that it is real to all of you guys. But I want to give you a couple examples and a couple things to think about when you're considering it for yourself, and how to sort of evaluate where you're at with some of your faith life, okay? The first thing I want you to think about is it real? When I ask, is it real to you, I mean to specifically you. Is it your faith now? Is it something different than, well, I was just raised this way and my parents, I kind of listen to my parents and I go to church because my parents bring me there. Or maybe if whatever school you go to, you have friends that you hang out with. Well, they go to youth group, so I go to youth group too. Are you just following someone else's lead in all of this? Are you here because your parents want you to be here? Are you wanting to make a profession of faith because, somebody's kind of nudging you or pushing you to do this? Or is this yours? And that's the first question you have to ask yourself. Is this your faith and not someone else's? Okay, because you're all at that young adult age where, not only this decision, but further decisions in life, the older you get and the more mature you get, you'll start to realize, I need to listen to what my parents have to say and stuff like that too, but it's becoming more about your decision. And in this particular case, we want to know, is this your faith? That's the first thing that kind of is a determining factor to the reality of it for you. Is it really my faith? Is it real? Well, am I doing it because it's for me, or am I doing it because I'm doing it for my parents, and my parents are forcing me to, or whatever the other reason might be? That's the first question you have to ask, okay? Second thing I want to put out there, or second question I want you guys to think about when you're talking about, is it real to you, is, are you putting forth regular effort, okay? Just like with anything in life, if something's important to you, you're going to put effort into it. You're going to put time into it. You're going to want to improve on it, okay? Those are kind of signs that things that are important to you. And there's kind of two levels to that, right? If you're putting time and effort into something, there's a personal level to it. That would include stuff like prayer, stuff like devotions, stuff like sometimes even meditation, or sometimes fasting, some of those kinds of things you might be involved in or want to be a part of. So there's a personal level to your effort and your energy, okay? And then there's also kind of those more public things, like, am I attending church regularly? Am I attending youth group regularly? Am I trying to serve in ways that my skills and gifts allow me to do? Okay, so if something's important to you, if it's real to you, there's probably going to be an effort there. So if you're trying to decide, is my faith really real? Am I really where I need to be? Are you putting effort in? Because if you're putting effort in, then I think that's a really good sign that something's real to you. Not only on a public level, some of you guys might come to youth group regularly, or church Sunday morning, or whatever it might be, but on a personal level too. Those public and personal levels of effort, I think, are very, very important. Okay? Now I've got a little analogy for you, a little metaphor for you I want to put out there. So I've got these two shoes here, okay? And yes, these are my shoes. Very big-footed name, okay? Two very different shoes, right? I've got one shoe here that's pretty beat up, pretty dirty, pretty, smelly even. And I've got this other nicer, dressier shoe that, doesn't have much wear and tear on it at all, okay? So when you're deciding if something is real to you, I want to think about these two shoes a little bit. So if you had to describe this shoe, Caitlin, how would you describe it?
It looks like it's been used a lot.
Used a lot.
It's been through a lot.
Been through a lot.
Kind of torn
Kind of torn up, okay? Anything else, other ways you describe the shoe?
It's kind of like it used to like what color it used to be, and now it's kind of like a tannish brown.
Okay, so it's a little dirty, okay? How about if you had to describe this shoe, Tad, how would you describe this shoe?
I'd say pretty heavy and got some good condition. Throw that out there.
Okay, all good. All right, so when you compare these two shoes, we've got sort of a worn-in shoe, right? Something that I bet has been worn a lot, and it's probably pretty comfortable because it's been worn so much, right? When you first get new shoes, they're usually not very comfortable for the first little bit. And I've got this other shoe that's not very worn in, not very broken in at all. Probably pretty rigid, probably pretty uncomfortable, right? I've got this shoe, which you guessed was probably like an everyday shoe for a while at least, right? Something that you wore every day, something that you had on most days. I mean, it's seen, quite a bit of use, right? And you've got this shoe, which is probably more like a special occasion shoe, right? You use like once in a while. Okay. I've got this shoe. How many miles do you think that this shoe has walked in its lifetime? Chase? 50? I bet there's more than 50 miles on this shoe. If you had to say a lot of miles or a little miles, what would you say? A lot of miles. How about this shoe? Not that many miles, right? Probably just a few, special occasions, that kind of stuff. Okay, how about, how would you compare the condition of each of these shoes? This one, probably pretty beat up, right? Pretty used, pretty muddy, pretty dirty, sometimes not very cute. This one, kind of clean, polished, tidy. Okay? I want you guys to think about these two shoes, and again, we're trying to answer the question of reality and how real your faith is to you. I hope, this is a nice looking shoe, but I hope that your faith looks more like this one in reality. And I would argue that if your faith is real to you, it will look more like this one. This is an everyday shoe. This is a shoe like your faith that I hope you have on every day, no matter where you're at, whether it's school, whether it's at home, whether it's summer break, vacations, whatever you do. This shoe only gets taken out of the closet once in a while for special occasions, times when you want to show off, times when you're like, yeah, I want to put on appearances for people. This shoe, this is one that you're wearing every day, regularly. It's a part of you, okay? We talked about the comfort of these shoes a little bit. The more time that you spend in a shoe, the more time that you use it, put it to work, have it protect you, have it be around you, put miles on, the more comfortable it becomes. And I hope your faith is the same way, and if your faith is real to you, it will become more comfortable because you're using it, because you're putting miles on it. This one, I still wear this shoe every once in a while for special stuff, still not comfortable. And those of you girls that have dressy shoes, you'll probably, the same thing. You put dressy shoes on, not nearly as comfortable, okay? The other thing about your faith, the reality of a walk with Jesus is that not everything is going to be clean and neat and polished and perfect all the time, okay? But that's the beauty of our faith, is that we can be there for each other when times are tough. We can be there when the toe of your shoe breaks off a little bit and you need somebody else to help you walk, okay?
Would you want to bring your faith to a very important or special occasion, though?
Well, you would. Hopefully, you would do both. But this one is one, the point I was making, this one is one you're going to wear as often as possible. This one's one you might bring to just appearance, show off, that kind of stuff, okay? So, I hope that your faith, if it's real to you, becomes more of the everyday faith. Something that's not clean and polished, you're not putting on appearances for people, becomes more comfortable to you, and it's something that you're putting miles on. It's something that is regular and consistent and over time looks like something that's important to you or was important. Okay? Now, I have also 3 Bibles here that I want to show you guys. Okay? And I want to compare these a little bit to these shoes here. I've got this Bible, which I can tell you, I don't think I've even cracked open once. Okay, this is one of our brand new Bibles. This is probably the first time this Bible's been opened. This is one of our brand new Bibles that we have over at the other building that we have to give away to students when they need something. crispy, nice, clean. Okay. I've got this Bible here, which is my personal Bible. It's it's got some wear and tear. It's got some writing, some highlighting in it. It's got a couple things in it, a couple pictures, a couple notes, that kind of stuff. Not in bad shape, but you can tell it's been used and put through a little bit. This Bible right here, this is my grandpa's Bible. My mom was talking about earlier this year that my grandpa passed away. This is his Bible. It's got, if you look at it, I mean, there's writing everywhere. There's stuff in everywhere. It's kind of beat up. There's even a couple loose pages in here. There's pages that are folded over. So when you look at these two shoes and you compare them to Bibles, I hope if your faith is real to you that at some point your Bible looks like the one that's been worn, that's been written in, that's been highlighted, that's been important to you, that's maybe been one that you've even had in your back pocket and sat on a few times. The pages are covered with stuff. There's entries in it. If your faith is real to you, okay, now it's going to take time. This is my Bible right here. Doesn't have the same amount of stuff going on as my grandpa. My grandpa was 95. Okay, when I'm 95, I hope my Bible has that much stuff in it. It may not, but I hope it does. So in the same way, if your faith is real to you, you're going to use it. It's going to be with you. You're going to put time into it. Okay. The last point I want to make here before I turn you guys loose, the idea of we live in a culture and we live in a world that we are constantly given the idea that the phrase, you've probably heard this before, it's my life, I can do what I want. Have you guys heard that before? You probably, maybe even have said that before if you've been arguing with your parents. It's my life, I can do what I want. If your faith is real to you, that phrase hopefully is one that you put away, that you don't use anymore. Because if your faith is real to you, your life doesn't become yours anymore. The truth is, God and Jesus are giving you a lot of freedom to do with what you want to do with your life. But if your faith is really real, you're going to start using your life for things that aren't just about you. Sure, God and Jesus want you to enjoy yourself. They want you to excel in the gifts, in the areas, in the things that they've been able to bless you with. Okay, but if you're living your life that way, it's my life, I can do what I want, I would argue that your faith isn't the kind of real that it should be. You should start thinking, it's not my life. How can I do what you want? You being God or Jesus, of course. Okay? So those are a few things I just want you guys to think about as hopefully we start setting up times for you guys to make professions of faith. I honestly, truly believe that most of you guys are at this point already. But if your faith is real to you, and I think that it is, it should start looking like a dirty shoe a little bit. It should your Bible should start looking like you've spent time in it, that it's something that you take with you and that you carry with you and that's important to you. I'm proud of you guys. I have been for a long time already, not just because you're here today, but because of the young adults that you already are. It's going to be really cool, and I've been blessed to have an opportunity to walk alongside you guys already, and I hope that we can continue to do that. As we wrap up our time here in the Profession of Faith retreat, I will be contacting all of your parents, and I would like all of you to, and I'll kind of encourage them to have this conversation with you as well, to set up a time when you guys want to actually make your public profession of faith. And like I said, we can do this where you can get up here with a few people. If you've got some friends you want to do it with, we can do it where you're up here by yourself, where you're saying this is my faith. I want to make sure that people understand that I'm making a decision for myself and for the church community. We can do it a couple of different ways, and we can work those details out. But I'm definitely willing to make it as personal an experience as you and your family wants it to be, and finding a day that works for your parents, where you might even have some relatives that are pretty excited and proud to have you doing it and want to be here too. So we'll work on all those details, okay? Do any of you guys have any last minute questions that you would like to talk about? As always, even if you can't talk about them today or don't have those questions today, no one, including from our head pastor on down, knows it all, has it all figured out. So as you have questions and you're walking through your faith life, don't be afraid to ask. That's another part of the church community that's really cool. We can be there to help answer questions for each other and walk through some things and struggle with some things, and that's one of the things that's cool about a church community and a youth group too, okay?